Buckle up because this courtroom drama is about to hit different levels of messy and shocking. Picture this. The courtroom buzzing with cameras, flashing lights, family, press, and even old castmates all packed in like they were waiting for a Hollywood premiere, except this was real life. And it was about to get explosively messy. Jackie Christie sat there front and center, hands trembling, lips pressed so tight you could see the tension crawling off her skin. Doug? He was stoic, unreadable, a rock in the storm. Or so it seemed. The judge barely cleared his throat before the universe dropped a bomb. A manila envelope slid across the bench like a silent assassin. Inside, not the paternity test they'd been hashing over in pretrial motions. No, this one was anonymous, unsigned, unverified, but somehow impossibly shocking as hell. The courtroom froze as the results were read. Biological father, Douglas Christie. But the boy? Malaysia's son. Jackie's chest heaved. Her hand clutched it as if the air had just been stolen from her. Her eyes flicked between the judge, Doug, and Malaysia. Stone faces, cold, calculated. Whispers erupted like wildfire. She knew, one voice hissed. She lied all these years, another murmured. Jackie, trembling, slowly rose to her feet, eyes locking onto Doug's. "You told me he was your nephew," she whispered. And Doug, he couldn't answer. His expression said it all, heavy with truth that had nowhere to hide. And then, bam, Jackie collapsed. Her knees buckled, her body hit the floor with a thud that made every single person jump. Panic? Instant. Security scrambled. Malaysia covered her mouth, eyes wide. Doug froze, camera flashes exploding around him. The courtroom erupted into chaos, sketches hurriedly drawn, shouts for medics echoing. But then came the line that would haunt Black Hollywood for weeks. Jackie, lying on the floor, eyes wide, whispered, "He's not my son." The question hung like smoke. Then whose is he? And this wasn't just any Hollywood couple. Jackie and Doug Christie were the picture of Black Hollywood royalty. Red carpets, reality cameos, courtside kisses, a brand built on loyalty and love. Fans called them relationship goals. Jackie's long Instagram captions about Doug never leaving her side. Legendary. Untouchable in public, untouchable in private. But underneath that glossy image, the cracks had always been there. Doug's basketball career brought wealth, fame, long stretches apart. Jackie, protective to the point of obsession, trailed him on road trips, once admitting she couldn't let him out of her sight. People whispered devotion, others whispered obsession. But the real storm didn't hit until Malaysia Pargo stepped into the picture. Malaysia, not exactly a stranger to the spotlight, sharing screen time with Jackie on Basketball Wise. Their friendship? Complicated at best. 1 week brunches and laughter the next. Secrets that could blow the roof off everything Jackie and Doug built. If you're ready, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. The real tea is coming. This next chapter is pure, messy, cinematic chaos, and we're about to spill it like nobody's business. Picture it. Cameras rolling, champagne flutes flying, accusations hurled like daggers on Basketball Wise. All smiles for the camera, but behind the scenes, the tension was hotter than a Hollywood premiere in August. Jackie's whispers were sharp and low. Keep her away from Doug. And Doug? Sweet, naive, or maybe calculated Doug, brushing it off in interviews like, "Malaysia is just part of the circle." The public ate it up. But the paparazzi weren't fooled. Photos started trickling in. Doug and Malaysia leaving the same restaurants. Blurry snapshots courtside at games Jackie skipped. A fleeting moment caught on a shaky phone video where Malaysia's hand barely brushed Doug's shoulder. Jackie stayed poised in public, telling the Shade Room, "People want to see us fall, but we're stronger than ever." Behind closed doors, though, the house of cards was wobbling. Private calls, late-night arguments, disappearing acts. Jackie's instincts screamed something was off. She even tracked Doug's phone to a downtown hotel, coincidentally right after Malaysia hosted a birthday event. It wasn't just suspicion anymore. Jackie could feel it deep in her bones. What no one knew. The Doug-Malaysia connection wasn't new. It was old, alive, and tangled with a secret that would shatter everything. Malaysia had vanished from the spotlight. No interviews, no red carpets, no reality show cameos. Fans assumed she needed a break from the chaos, but behind the scenes, she was living a completely different life, far from the glitz. Past due notices, custody battles, a boutique quietly closed, a house facing foreclosure, and legal hearings tucked away from prying eyes. Then came the pregnancy. No baby shower, no gender reveal, just a blurry paparazzi snap of Malaysia at a pharmacy, hoodie oversized, stomach swollen, eyes hidden behind dark sunglasses. The internet exploded. Who was the father? Ex? One night fling? Fans speculated endlessly. Then Reddit dropped a bomb, a court deposit receipt, anonymous, to a private family account under Malaysia's name. Memo line, support medical only. Too neat, too familiar. Insiders noticed the handwriting, eerily similar to Jackie Christie's. Fans gasped. Why would Jackie, of all people, fund her rival's pregnancy? Hush money? Or something even darker? Malaysia stayed silent, raising her son alone, but behind her quiet was a truth too dangerous to speak aloud. Then the voicemail hit. Scratchy, barely audible, but unmistakable. Doug, angry, raw. You said we'd never talk about this again. I'm not abandoning my son, Malaysia. Jackie froze. Son? That word shattered her. 10 long seconds, standing frozen, the walls closing in, ceilings low. This wasn't just a rumor on social media. This was real. Doug confessing to a child he'd been hiding for years. Her blood ran cold. Jackie stormed down the stairs like a woman possessed, heels pounding the marble like thunder. Doug sat on the couch, scrolling casually, as if the world hadn't just tilted on its axis. Jackie's voice was calm but brittle. Is there something you want to tell me? Doug looked up, clueless. Jackie, what are you talking about? She held her phone like a weapon and hit play. And just like that, the walls of secrets started crumbling. Viewers dropped their phones and rewind 5 times. The voicemail had already rocked Jackie's world. Doug's voice raw, accusatory, exhausted, each word like a dagger. The silence that followed, torture. Doug didn't speak, didn't move, didn't even blink. Jackie's voice cracked as she asked the question everyone wanted answered. How long? Still nothing. That silence. Oh, it was worse than any lie she could have imagined. She didn't argue, didn't scream. She just walked out, door shut, heart shattered. 2 hours later, Jackie was pacing, trembling, staring at a city she no longer trusted. A text from Doug arrived. It's not what you think. But she knew exactly what it was. And maybe it was even worse. A glass of wine sat untouched in her hand, a futile attempt at calm. And then, the unthinkable. Jackie picked up the phone and called her old private investigator. That night, a black SUV slipped away from her house, headlights off, carrying the man who once uncovered a producer's entire offshore empire. All he got were 3 words: Malaysia's son. No questions, no hesitation. He didn't need them. Back inside, Doug sat alone on the couch, silence pressing down. No TV, no music, just the hum of the refrigerator and the ticking of an antique wall clock Jackie's mother had gifted her. Every tick a reminder that everything Jackie thought she knew, the life they built, the love, the loyalty, was a mirage. This wasn't just betrayal. This was a hidden life, a secret child, a lie that had outlasted marriages. Jackie stared at the city lights, haunted by one thought: how many people already knew and stayed silent? And then came the courtroom, the place where secrets meet daylight. Cameras clicked, whispers buzzed like electricity. Malaysia walked in like she owned the place. Crisp white suit, perfect hair, poise untouchable by scandal. Or so she thought. She took the witness stand with the calm of someone hiding a storm inside. The judge's words cut through the murmur. Miss Pargo, do you understand? You are under oath. One sharp nod. Calculated. The prosecutor didn't waste a second. Is it true that in 2013, while married to Mr. Doug Christie, you gave birth to a child conceived during an extramarital affair? Gasps rolled through the courtroom. Malaysia blinked, lips parting, but no words. Then carefully measured, no, that's a lie. I've never hidden a child from anyone. The cameras cut to Jackie, stiff, knuckles white, hands folded tight in her lap. The prosecutor stepped closer, slow, deliberate, like a lion circling its prey. He slapped a manila folder onto the bench with a sound that made the room freeze. In that case, he said, voice calm but heavy, you'll have no objection to entering this DNA result into evidence. Malaysia's confident smile faltered. Eyes darted toward the gallery. There in the second row sat a boy, no more than 10. Brown eyes, strong jawline, unmistakable resemblance to Doug. Jackie's head turned slowly, heart hammering. Malaysia's face crumbled before the room could even breathe. The prosecutor's voice rang out, steady, merciless. This is a certified paternity test conducted 3 weeks ago, court-ordered. It shows with 99.97% certainty that Mr. Doug Christie is the biological father of this child. Time stopped. Doug leaned back, hands trembling, eyes wide. The room was dead silent, the kind of silence that screams louder than any accusation. Jackie's world had just imploded in real time, and nothing, absolutely nothing, would ever be the same again. The courtroom had already collapsed under the weight of secrets, but nothing could prepare the world for what happened next. Malaysia's lips quivered, a tear slipping silently down her cheek, while the boy sat frozen, confused and scared, gripping a truth he didn't yet understand. Jackie stared, heart shattering in a single moment. Her knees gave way, and the courtroom erupted. Screams, commotion, bailiffs rushing in, flashbulbs exploding. Jackie's body hit the marble floor like slow-motion heartbreak. Doug lunged forward, guilt and panic all over his face, but an officer blocked him. Malaysia turned away, silent tears falling. While paramedics rushed Jackie into an oxygen mask and onto a gurney, the cameras capturing every second. The headlines exploded faster than any reality show meltdown could ever hope to. Jackie in critical condition after courtroom collapse. Malaysia's secret tears family apart. Social media went wild. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, every corner buzzing with theories. Jackie's team issued a chilling statement. She was under medical supervision for severe emotional and physical exhaustion. No visitors. Hospital insiders whispered she wasn't speaking, just staring at the walls, broken in a way that ran deeper than anyone could imagine. Doug completely vanished. Instagram wiped, Twitter deactivated, PR silent. It was as if Doug Christie, the beloved athlete and family man, had evaporated from the planet. Meanwhile, Malaysia stepped back into the spotlight, live on Instagram, raw and exposed. No filters, face swollen from crying, voice trembling as over 1 million viewers tuned in instantly. "I didn't plan this," she admitted. "I never wanted to destroy anyone's life. I kept my son a secret because I was scared. Doug said he'd never leave Jackie. I believed him. I thought it was better to stay quiet." The comments went wild, some defending her, some attacking. TikToks and podcasts dissected every word. "Y'all are mad at the wrong woman," one viral post declared. Doug played them both. Malaysia raised that boy alone. "Now you hate her for telling the truth." Jackie, meanwhile, remained silent and broken in her hospital room, refusing to eat, barely speaking, whispering over and over. How many more lies? Rumors swirled about Doug. Had he fled the country? Hid in Arizona? Boarded a private jet to Switzerland? Nobody knew, but the speculation only fueled the fire. Then came Malaysia's in-person press conference, promising to reveal everything. The voicemails, the texts, the conversations Jackie never knew existed. The world held its breath, waiting. And then, the ultimate bombshell. A TikTok clip appeared. 13 seconds of stark, dramatic piano, a young girl with her mother's eyes staring into the camera. "Everyone's asking what I think, so here it is." "This isn't the first time he's done this." "Not even close," she said. The girl was Sarai, Jackie and Doug's oldest daughter, stepping forward to expose a family pattern that no one expected. Her video went viral within an hour, 1 million views, and the world's perspective shifted entirely. "She lied for him over and over," Sarai revealed. "Mom thought love meant staying silent, but me? I'm not staying quiet anymore." She claimed Doug had another child in Oregon and detailed years of manipulation and betrayal that Jackie had endured in silence to protect him. Her final words hit like a wrecking ball. "Mom should have left years ago. Maybe then none of this would have happened." Cut to black. Comment sections exploded. The story had just become bigger, messier, and far darker than anyone imagined. Doug Christie's secrets weren't just a scandal, they were a full-blown family implosion playing out live for the world to witness. The Christie household, once a picture of Black Hollywood perfection, was now shredded across TikTok, Instagram, and every reaction video imaginable. Old family photos were circulating, torn, reimagined, edited, Doug's face blurred, scratched out like a ghost haunting every memory. Side-by-side clips of Jackie, worn down, distant, exhausted, filled timelines. Fans watched in awe and sorrow as one viral TikTok put it bluntly. "We all thought Jackie was strong. Now we realize she was just surviving." Insiders confirmed the cracks had been widening for years. Jackie begged Sarai, her eldest, not to post anything, but Sarai's conscience would no longer allow her to lie for her father. Then, the story escalated in a way nobody expected. Behind closed doors, in a private deposition, Malaysia's son, the boy at the center of all this chaos, spoke for the first time under oath. Not on TikTok, not in a podcast, not for clicks. Just him, a distorted silhouette. voice heavy with pain and truth. "I always knew who my dad was," he said, trembling. "She didn't lie to me about that. She just didn't tell me everything." The boy described rare visits, gifts, secret outings, always hidden from the public eye. Doug, the beloved basketball hero and family man, had been living a double life, and the realization hit like a freight train. "I thought he was just busy," the boy said. "But then I saw him on TV, with her, Jackie, Sarai, the other kids, smiling, talking about family, and I realized he had another family, a real one." The courtroom-trained attorneys reportedly froze. Malaysia, in the hallway, sobbed openly, having never heard her son articulate the betrayal so plainly. "Why doesn't he ever take me to his house?" the boy asked. "Not now, maybe one day," she had replied. But even through the shadowed silhouette, the weight of his disappointment was clear. He understood now. His father had a wife, another life. And he, the boy at the heart of this scandal, was the part Doug had deliberately kept hidden. Public reaction? Immediate, fierce, heartbreaking. The boy didn't ask to be born in secret. 2 families had been fractured, childhood stolen, trust broken. In mere minutes, the scandal became a story of abandonment and betrayal, not just cheating. And then, just when everyone thought they'd heard it all, the boy, voice trembling but firm, stood up. He asked one final question. One question that would send shockwaves across every headline, every timeline, and leave the world holding its breath, wondering if even the darkest secrets could survive exposure. Just when everyone thought Jackie's world and the internet had reached its absolute breaking point, a single envelope appeared at her hospital bedside. No postage, no return address, just her name scrawled across the front in looping cursive. Inside, a second paternity test and a torn journal page. Yellowed, damp. Edges creased like it had been handled too many times. And this DNA report wasn't from Doug. No, honey, it was from someone nobody expected. Chris Webber. Yes, Chris Webber, NBA icon. Doug's former teammate, longtime family friend. The man who had smiled next to Jackie in charity gala photos, holiday dinners, and baby showers, now suddenly under a microscope of suspicion. Jackie's hands trembled as she unfolded the letter. A nurse said she whispered a single word under her breath. No. The journal entry Malaysia had included was brief but explosive. Doug never knew I was with Chris that night. It was only once. A mistake. A smudge of Malaysia's tear-stained handwriting hovered over Chris's name. Jackie reportedly stayed up all night, clutching the letter, flipping between heartbreak and disbelief. She wasn't crying. She was numb, like her soul had walked right out of the room. Meanwhile, social media erupted. Chris Webber, the internet lost it. Imagine raising a child for 13 years, thinking you knew the father, only to discover it might not even be Doug. It could be your best friend's teammate. Drone footage later captured Chris pacing outside his Sacramento home gym, phone glued to his ear, face unreadable. No comment. The speculation. Wild, did Doug know? Was Malaysia hiding even more? And most importantly, did the boy already know? TikTok detectives went to work digging up a 2009 nightclub photo. Doug and Chris, Malaysia smiling between them. Doug's arm around her waist, Chris's gaze, lingering. Now it took on an entirely new meaning. And the test, though still unconfirmed, hinted at less than a 50% match with Doug. Rumors of a third sample from Chris began swirling, and Jackie's mind raced. One man lied, one man disappeared, and one might actually be the father. Then came the final gut-punching twist. Jackie, barely able to breathe, picked up the hospital phone, not for Doug, not for her lawyer, but for Chris Webber. What she said next? A move that could shatter 3 families and redefine everything they thought they knew. Cut to black. But Jackie's voice pierced the silence. Slow, wounded, steady. The betrayal didn't end. The next chapter began in court. Gavels slammed, flashes exploded. Chris Webber stepped onto the courtroom steps, suit crisp, face unreadable, reporters screaming questions. A black SUV rolled up. Jackie's daughter Sarai emerged, sunglasses on, head high, clutching a folded paper that screamed secrets. And then, silence. A single line on screen. Next episode, Chris Webber testifies, and Jackie's daughter doesn't. Another gavel, another slam, fade to black. The story is far from over,